Hey everyone, Doug the Dog Guy said we all just need to start recording on YouTube because it can make some passive income. And I've been doing YouTube on and off for the past few years. Doug and I actually started right around the same time. We both submitted our first videos dually with another company, Aussie Mom Pet Care, right after the time of the 2020s. And so I told him that I stopped making videos consistently because as a woman who routinely uses makeup, I always felt it was such a drag to have to put on makeup to record a video, and that's what delayed me from ever really doing videos. But here I am with chaos hair, no makeup, a child homeschooling, meals going on in my own kitchen, but a laundry list of things to do for personal and business. And so that's what I'm going to do today. The cool thing about owning your own pet business or any business in general is I'm not constricted to a 9 to 5 schedule. I can do my personal, business, volunteer life, personal needs anytime throughout the day that makes most sense day to day. It's the number one reason why I started my business, actually. I transitioned from working in the veterinary field as a veterinary nurse of over 13 plus years when I became pregnant with a human baby and said I wanted to be present for my children and be able to attend all those parenting things like art shows and concerts and volunteering at field trips and all that jazz. I also have some chronic autoimmune disorders that make day to day a bit different. Some days I have more energy than others. Others, my body's covered in hives, and a typical 9 to 5 just does not cut it. So today, it's a pretty good day, and I have a lot of personal and business things to do. And my manager's out because she actually donated a kidney to her mother, which is just amazing. So she's in the hospital, so I'm kind of managerial duty more this week than normal. So let's take you through the day, or the few hours I have before I have to pick up a child from the bus stop. The number one thing I do every day is I have these, legal pads of paper on a clipboard of some sort, and I make my new list every day of what I'm doing. And I break it down into 3 categories: personal, my business, and then volunteering, because I'm heavily a volunteer in multiple organizations and mostly Girl Scouts. So I take a list and I break it down into the key things that I need to get done, all the things, including my personal. I even write down like breakfast, lunch, medications, water. One, because girl likes a list and seeing that she's accomplishing things. And the second reason is so I actually don't forget. So today I have quite an extensive list of over 17 actionable items at minimum to complete, on top of some passive things that I need to get done consistently over the next few weeks within a coaching group I'm in called Dog Co. So today I had Girl Scouts. I had to clean out some Girl Scout supplies. I have a silver award, which is the highest award a middle school girl can earn in Girl Scouts. I have some emails to send for that. I'm creating a patch for a patch program that's swan themed because our town is swan themed. So I have to get a quote for the patches. We're going to an event at a museum in Orlando, Florida. We're in Central Florida ourselves with Attaboy Animal Care, and I have to work on scheduling that. Our troop is going to IFAS, so the agricultural organization in the state of Florida, to learn all about plants and animals and pollinators and all that fun stuff. And I also have my pet sitting aspect of thing, which I'm working on new hire onboarding, my dog co that I mentioned. I'm editing and creating some SOPs, so standard operating procedures, and I have a laundry list of hundreds of those to do consistently. I have to schedule a new hires training day, and we are doing a situation of marketing where we will be having our team members go to different coffee shops and breweries and bring a dog with them, either their own or do a doggy date from a local rescue like SPCA Florida or Polk County Bully Rescue, and bring a dog with them. We're gonna pay for their drink, and then they're gonna drop off marketing materials and take some iconic photos at these 15 different spots in our town, so we can use for social media and marketing purposes. And then they get a little free drink on us and have a good time, plus a little benefit to the community by doing a doggy date where they take take a dog out of the shelter for the day for a few hours and go do some fun stuff with them. And personally, I did. I wrote down my breakfast, my lunch, my medication, my water, a trip we're planning to go visit family in Puerto Rico because my husband's Puerto Rican, and I have to work on ordering dog medications for our personal dogs, and I'm monitoring my son who's in middle school who virtual schools from home. Our other child goes to a local public Montessori school, so she's managing that. I write down the time that I have to pick her up from the bus, and I have a Google alarm, Alexa alarm, phone alarm, all the alarms to do all those things. I had to create dinner menu for the week because I'm behind. I usually do that on Mondays, but it's Wednesday. It was a holiday on Monday, so got a little behind on that. So lots of things to get going through. A big goal in our family is also cooking from home pretty consistently. I have some autoimmune disorders that are highly affected by processed food and preservatives, so I end up cooking a lot from home. So I end up starting to make our meals like breakfast, lunches, and dinners right when I wake up. So when the kids get home around 3-4 o'clock and husband gets home by 4:35ish, we can pretty much sit down and eat right around that early 5 p.m. time before we have to go run off to do Boy Scouts, do Girl Scouts, do volunteering, do a night out with friends or family, whatever that may look like. So my kitchen is constantly going throughout the day, which is great because I don't eat out a lot because of that. Of course, I have my own pets, like our fish tanks back here that I have to routinely maintain. I had to recently refill their fish food, which is my favorite thing to do, is refill a container of fish food daily so we know to make sure the fish got fed and the appropriate amount of food. We recommend this to all of our clients, as well as go get one of these medication containers and fill it up weekly because their pinch and our pinch can be quite different. Another pet we have a giant day gecko and a green anole lizard that is in one of my pets rooms, my kids' rooms. So as you can see, we have Lizzo, the giant day lizard here, and she has some wet food stuff that needs to get refed. She gets spritzed, and she gets, of course, the infamous crickets. I have been a reptile fan my entire life. We own these, and we also own turtles, which I do not recommend as pets either, but I've had them since I was 16 to 18 years old, so they're stuck with our family, and they're going to have a great life with us. But the one thing I learned with lizards that I would never own a lizard again is I hate managing crickets. I hate the smell. I hate the sounds. Some people consider them comforting. I do not. I don't like having to go to the pet store weekly or bi-weekly to get them. I've tried raising them. I don't like raising them. So a pet that ever has to have crickets in the future, ours require live fed because they refuse to eat dead ones, I would never own again. It's kind of funny, as a professional pet sitter and pet care provider and veterinary technician of all these years, the pets I own are the ones I don't necessarily recommend to most people. They were either rescues or I was ready for a next level difficulty level of pets. But then the longer I've owned pets, the higher opinion I have of not owning animals that are not super domesticated. And one of those examples is also our hermit crab tanks. I have rescue hermit crabs in here, and they have to have fresh water and salt water. They have to have fresh food and different processed foods. As you can see, we have a variety. These are all different types of food and food mixes because they need an extreme dietary difference. They also have high humidity needs and heat needs, and just a whole bunch of things. They need different sized shells to make them happy, and it's a cleanup day today for this, so that's why it looks like it looks like. So here's my PSA with hermit crabs. I do not recommend them as pets. 99% plus of hermit crabs are taken from the wild of other countries' beaches, transported. Most die in transport, most die at the pet store, and then most only live less than a year or two because most people don't take care of them accurately, because almost all the product on the market at pet stores is actually toxic to pets. Let's just not even get started with that. Between dyes and the chemicals and the preservatives they add in the food, they're very toxic to the hermit crabs, and most die because of that, when in reality they can live dozens and dozens, multiple decades of years of taking care properly, and most people don't realize that. They also like to live in groups. There's different species varieties, so there's red kind of colored ones and purple before getting in the scientific names. They have their own kind of communication method, so you can't really mix well. You have to have a large quantity of space for them and a specific amount of depth of soil and sand for them. And it's just a wreck. These were all rescues that we have, people that didn't want them anymore or couldn't take care of them. I would not own them again, and I would not recommend them to others, because as a person who has a lot of pet care experience and an animal science degree, these are still difficult for me to maintain properly. We use a software called Pet Sitter Plus for our scheduling and payments and employee management process, so our CRM. And it is a software that's probably in the top 3 of softwares for pet sitter providers, but it still has a way to go to be a bit better for its abilities. It is a website version versus an app, which we're really hoping will transfer sooner than later. But currently I have 2 new clients onboarding, and what we need to do is look through the accounts that they created to make sure they filled in all the nitty-gritty details of name, address, phone numbers, locations, pet types, and what kind of care they need, to make sure, 1, we're willing to do it, 2, it hits within our policy and safety guidelines, because some people want us to do things that we're just not willing to do, and see what visits they need and availability to ensure we have coverage for their visits that they actually want. We have all of our clients go through a 3-step onboarding process, filling out their online account in full prior to even us talking with them or meeting with them, really, unless they make a phone call, of course. 2, a consultation and behavior assessment where we go to their home, 1, check for sanitation and safety of their house. It's kind of our job. And then also checking for our safety and sanitation and care quality of the pets, and meeting the pets and making sure we're clarifying all notes and process and procedures. So when our staff come in, because we have a team of 13 employees, they can all do the same quality care no matter who's going in. And we call that a consult and behavior assessment versus the standard meet and greet, because meet and greet kind of tells the client that they're meeting, greeting us and kind of interviewing us. And it's really the opposite. We're meeting and greeting them. We're making sure we want to do the service, it's safe to do the service, we're willing to do the service, and we have all the details we need, making sure they're also nice humans, because if they're not going to be nice on the first meeting, highly unlikely they'll be nice in the future. And then step 3, they do a trial visit. So we do a one-off visit that's non-essential. So if something happens that the visit can't be successfully completed, aka the pet's aggressive, usually we can't do the visit. It's not dire or essential that they're missing a meal or medication or a potty break. We do that visit with another team member the pet's never met before, that we've deemed is safe enough to do the trial. We complete a trial visit, and then they have full access to do all of our services. Both the consultation and behavior assessment, step 2, is a feed situation because we pay our staff to do it, and the trial visit is a feed situation. So the clients are investing money to onboard with our company to make sure it's both good for them and for me. A lot of clients appreciate that process and prefer that process because they also want those checks and balances, and if they don't like those things, they're not the client for us. We're also a huge fan of Slack for communication for all of our staff. This is what we use. It's kind of a text messaging app that we can contact all of our staff regarding scheduling, legal stuff, break room, pet photos, etc. This allows us to have all of our communication in one kind of location regarding business versus using a third party that's geared towards social media like a Facebook or Instagram Messenger or a group text messaging where things can get lost. This keeps things very streamlined. If sitters are off on their days, they can also turn off notifications if they don't want to hear anything. So they have that balance of work and life as well, which is extremely important. And now I'm moving on to my next job, which is going in the back end of our website, which it's attaboyanimalcare.com, and we use a great company to help and create our website, which uses a great platform. And right now I'm going to be double checking all of our blogs are scheduled for the year because we pre-bulk those out for the entire year to post at least once a month, and then we'll add in extra ones throughout the year to buff it up. The company we used for our website is called Barkington Solutions or Barkington Blog. They are amazing. They have pre-created formats that you can pick and choose for each page that you want, which I prefer. I'm a person that likes to see all my sauces and have all the sauces to choose from versus trying to describe exactly what I want and hoping to get an outcome. So I prefer the pre-created, which they can also customize as well. But they use a WordPress-based process. And we were having an issue with some of our blogs not posting recently, and me not being the website creator, I had to work with them to help figure out what the problem was. And that's the perk, is you don't want to be the person that knows all the things. You want to be able to hire the people that know those specific niches and pay them for their time so it doesn't waste your time too much. Because if I tried to figure that out, it would take me dozens of hours versus them 30 minutes to an hour maybe. And what I'm paying them is way less than what my value of time is doing it on my own. And you kind of have to really figure that out as a business owner of what's worth your time to do versus what's worth offboarding and having someone else do. Like we offboard our taxes and our bookkeeping.